drew you to the makerspace initially, and if you could share like what your first impressions were.
So I just moved to Linz in August for interface cultures masters in the Kunstuni, and we didn't have access to our departments because of water damage. So Fabrizio, one of our tutors, worked with Till and the team here in Grand Garage to get us access to the space and intro to all of the machines. And I had been part of a Fab Lab in Berlin before and really enjoyed the community of working on something and people kind of, passing by and talking to you, and all of this community element was really important. So being new to a city, sometimes it's cool to have these places where you instantly find your people, and also just how accessible it makes, like having an idea and turning it into some kind of reality. I think these spaces are super important for that,
And can you recall such a moment of collaboration that had an impact while you were working here?
I think doing the intro to the Plastic Garage, I guess it wasn't a exact collaboration in terms of like two artists making work together or something, but I think the intro to the machines and to the different spaces is really cool because you meet other people. So there was like some friends, my tutor came along, but then there was also a 12-year-old and his mom, and we're all just kind of working together learning about recycling plastic. And it's this lovely situation where you're working with people on something that you care about, and that's the common ground, for meeting people, which is really cool.
Can you tell us a little bit about your artistic background and what you're working on here in the Plastic Garage right now?
Yeah, totally. So I'm from Ireland. I did my BA in NCAD, the National College of Art and Design there, in Fine Art Media. So I've been working digitally for the past 7-8 years, I'd say. And always wanted to have a more physical element to my practice, and that was kind of my goal for the masters and for my time here. So I have kind of been developing a project where the origin of the work is digital, but then I wanted the final output to be something physical. And I started thinking a lot about what I wanted that to be and what the physical form wanted. And recycled plastic felt very fitting in that when we did the intro, I started to learn about the types of plastics that we use every day, household items, and figuring out how many of them can actually be turned into something else. It felt really fitting. The work is also about this physical presence of non-human identities. So it was very important to the concept of the work that I thought about like how they came into the world. So doing that through materials, of giving other materials a second life, it felt, like a cohesive.
Are those themes or subjects that also continually interest you in your artistic work?
So I work a lot with digital identity and these kind of personas that we create of ourselves online, and also the loss of ownership and control of identity in virtual spaces. So I've been doing that mainly through the exploration of my own identity through like 3D scanning, photogrammetry, this kind of breakdown of the real as it passes into the virtual. That's kind of been something that continuously comes up in my work, but I am doing a commission at the moment for Linz Ephemer, which the work will be exhibited at, and it's more public installation, so I wanted to, for once, not make work about myself and see what I could do instead.
Could you tell us how this being here in the makerspace or in the Plastic Garage has contributed to your work as an artist? Like, did you gain something from it, and if yes, what was it?
Yeah, I think combining the work here with what I've been doing in the Masters has been really interesting as well, because I have the kind of conceptual input from my tutors and from the writing that I'm doing in the course, but then all of these machines we don't have in the college, and even downstairs with the laser cutting and all the 3D printers, and it's just like an extension of support in terms of making an idea a reality, I think. And even just the few days that I've been like here by myself and working, there's like people coming in and being like, we heard you're doing this, and you know, there's a lovely kind of environment around. And I think sometimes if I work on an idea myself too much, I start just thinking like, this is a terrible idea, why am I making this? So it's nice to be around people who are fresh and giving you, you know, new insights, and I think it's really integral to the work. Yeah.
And how would you say does this makerspace compare to other environments you've worked in?
There's a lot of trust, which I find very encouraging. I think as soon as I like showed interest in the space, and once, you know, Katrin and Katarina knew I wasn't just messing around, like I felt like they really trusted me with the space and, you know, allowing me to come in and work by myself. There's like a huge amount of trust in that with such expensive machinery. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm being babied throughout the process, which I think creates like a lot of freedom to experiment. And yeah, it's a nice balance of letting me do my thing, but also checking in and yeah, feeling very supported. I'd say my project probably wouldn't have been pushed as far, even though I'm not finished yet. Like the 3D prints here that I'm making the molds out of, I'd say without here, maybe just this would be the work, the finished, you know, 3D print. But I think getting to, you know, I've been working with plaster in college and then using the plaster molds here, and I feel like the recycling the plastic and really thinking about the materiality of the end work, I think wouldn't have been the case if I wasn't here. Yeah.
And there were some surprises.
Yeah. I have a lot of little miniature tests over there. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun working with the materiality, and like I said, I work digitally so much. And we spoke earlier about, you know, the control and these kind of fine details of lighting or rendering or smoothing, you know, a digital object, whereas you kind of give a little bit of yourself over to the process by working physically. And of course, yeah, almost every single one that I've made has been a surprise, but there's something quite nice in that balance of like control and also allowing, you know, the work to take shape itself.
So final question, would you say working here has had an impact on you personally or as an artist? Yeah,
hugely, yeah. I think even just down to like having the space and feeling like supported in that sense of like the work is worthwhile and that it's, you know, exciting to make, and that there's somebody saying like, yeah, definitely come in, do that. You know, I feel like even that alone is sometimes a push that's needed as an artist. I think it's really cool to even know that there's spaces like this here, and to know that, you know, I'm going to be here for a couple of years, and to know that it's a community that I want to actually like invest time in. And yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.